Hello everybody and welcome to Judge Mathas, and today on trial stands Factorio, a game that many of you have been bugging me to check out, and so I heeded your wise words and I did. In fact, I was getting comments, tweets, and even emails saying that I should check this game out, so obviously you guys were quite passionate about what this game was. And so, I checked it out. So what is Factorio? Well, first and foremost, Factorio is still in development. You can go onto the website, factorio.com, and pick up the alpha for £10 or $13. That's the regional equivalent, I believe, that they kind of settled on. And you can start playing this game right now. It is an interesting amalgamation of ideas from Minecraft and RimWorld and Dwarf Fortress. It has a top-down kind of Fallout 1 and 2 aesthetic, but the thing I kind of equate it to most importantly is the Tekkit mod pack that is out for Minecraft. Essentially, if you played Tekkit, the whole industrialization of your world and basically automating all of your necessary chores in Minecraft equates what Factorio does, except Factorio focuses on that as its prime game. And it does a really good job at kind of bringing that across. So let's play a little bit, we'll talk a little bit, and I'll show you the opening of the game and somewhere about 1.5 to 2 hours in that I was able to do with my own personal little factory world. So we have a few options here. First thing I want to draw attention to is mods. This game supports modding, and games like this thrive on their modding community, and to see that this developer is embracing modding is awesome. I have not checked out any of the mods out there yet, but I have a feeling that this game is going to pick up quite a bit of traction, and the mods that come out for it are going to be pretty goddamn amazing. At least I can see that potential. You have a map editor if you want to make your own map, which I am never ever good at. Your options, honestly, there's not a lot of customizability to your graphical options. So if you wanted to like have custom resolutions, they're not there. The game kind of just fits itself to your screen and then goes on from there. Not a big deal because the game's not amazing looking graphically and there's not a lot it needs to really do to bring across its point. But the lack of customizable graphical options is still a little bit of a letdown. Let's go ahead and hit play, and we'll have two options. We have a campaign, which there are 2 chapters to right now, which are just tutorials, and of course, new game. Like any game like this, you can dictate how often you're going to see minerals, how rare they are, how rich they are, how sparse they are, terrain segmentation. You can basically customize how you want to play the world, and if you don't want to fight enemies, you can play on peaceful, and if you really want a finite map, you can kind of tell you how big you want it. Or you can leave it blank for infinite, which we're going to go ahead and do, and then we're going to generate the world. So as I said, the game is very much focused on the idea of, say, Tekkit, where you start with nothing and you build to something. Controls are incredibly easy. WASD moves your character around, you can zoom in and out with the scroll button, and if you right-click on something, you can start mining away. As you can see, right now we are using a stick, essentially, to smack trees, and we'll end up using the stick on other things like coal and stuff and copper. It's super slow. Luckily the game is going to be forgiving and letting you build a pickaxe right away. You can actually only build 2 at first, so we'll go ahead and click on 1. And the way crafting works is actually pretty simple. I really actually enjoy it, especially for a game that's going to be as complicated as this one. All you need to do is click on the item you want made, and the game will automatically make all the parts you need in order and then make that particular item. So say your pickaxe needs, an item needs like stone bricks, copper wires, and iron plates. It will make the stone bricks, it will make the copper wire, it will make the iron plate, and then it will make that item. All in kind of this order on the bottom left-hand side. So you yourself, unlike Tekkit, don't have to go about and make every individual thing. Some people might like this, some people might not. I personally like it because I get super confused sometimes, and if I need to make a particular thing, I don't want to have to kind of run around and try to figure out what I need every single time I need it because my memory is awful. So let's take a look at where we were ended up spawned. We've got ourselves some coal over here, some copper over here, and some stone, and some iron. This is not a bad beginning. There's actually a whole lot of water, which is a little bit rough. But I would like a lot more coal, I think, if we wanted to do something here, and a lot more iron. The thing is, we're going to end up using a lot of the metallic resources very quickly as we begin to play. In fact, this actually is going to be pretty good. Oh, this is going to be perfect right here. We have a lot of coal here, a lot of iron, and a lot of copper. Stone is a little bit lacking. That's not terrible. We can kind of make up for that if we need to. but I think I'm going to stay here. And hopefully we can find more stone as we look around. I know we left some stone behind. If we need to run back, we can go get it. Honestly, stone is not something we're going to be using for too long. So let's start and set up some basic stuff. So the game starts you with a burner mining drill and a stone furnace. The stone furnace is going to be like any other furnace. It's going to basically be smelting metals. So we don't need it for copper. But in order to make those furnaces work and to have any of those other things work, you need coal to have it running. That's the basics of your first technologies. They're all going to be coal-based and heat-based until you get your first electrical thing set up. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to mine out a little coal because we're going to need it. But we're going to set up our first burner run mining drill here on the coal itself. So we'll go ahead and mine out 10, and then we're going to go ahead and click it, and we can rotate which way it's going to spit out the coal that's indicated by the yellow arrow by hitting the R button. So let's go ahead and spit it out here. Now on the right hand side, you can see a couple of specifications. How is its mining power, its mining speed, and the expected resources you can get from putting it in this one spot. The further in, the more you're going to get, and the further out, the less. So we can get about 2,000 coal here. So we'll pop that down. It's already saying that it needs, obviously, some fuel. So we'll go ahead and pop fuel in it in a minute. The other thing we're going to do first is make a crate. The reason we want to do that is because if we end up putting coal in here now, it's just going to end up spitting coal out on the ground. So you can see, you can't see it. It's right there. It's little tiny coal. And it won't actually do any more mining until we pick it up. So we're going to go ahead and plop a crate right at the edge. And it should, yep, start pumping the coal right into the crate. Nice and easy. Already starting to automate. The other thing we're going to want to work on is steel. Steel is going to be one of the earliest things we need. So there's some steel over there, some iron. We're going to start making our way over there. One of the things I like to do personally is chop down trees and kind of make a path so that way I'm not running through a ton of stuff on the way. So we'll kind of clear out a nice little, quick little path for ourselves to run through. And we will start mining a little bit of the steel manually over here. Now, obviously, we're going to want to get ourselves a burner mining drill as soon as possible. And we will put that up as soon as we can. But in order to make one, as we'll take a look, which is under production, I should actually talk about the crafting menu here for a minute. So the crafting menu here is 4 tabs. We have logistics, which is stuff like inserter, which is basically a mechanical arm that'll pick things up out of a crate and put them somewhere. We have ourselves a transport belt, which is like a conveyor belt, and you can kind of direct it in certain ways. We have our crates and wooden chests here. We have our production, which is your mining picks. You're going to be your drills, both burner mining drill and electric mining drill. Your furnaces, your labs, which we'll talk about later. And your intermediate stuff, which is going to be like all the gears and metallic rods and all the stuff you need. So in order to make another burner mining drill, what we need is a stone furnace, which we have, iron plates, which we have, and iron gear wheels, which we do not have. And obviously, in order to make iron gear wheels, we need 2 iron plates. So we're going to need a lot of iron. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of mine this all out. Just clear this area out. Clear out some trees. Just want to clear it, make it looking nice. In a little while, I'll show you a little bit of what I've done in my other save file. So let's go ahead and put this down right here. Nice and easy. And we will just mine away at some of the iron. The developer actually sent me an email saying, hey, you might not want to show the beginning of the games because it can be really, really slow. And I'm sorry, Mr. Developer, I'm actually going to do the opposite because I think a lot of the draw for these types of games is the fact that it ends up being a little bit slow paced. Because that feeling of satisfaction that you get once everything is automated or your first automated machines are up and running, and you no longer have to, say, manually mine certain areas, is awesome. That's what these games are all about. It's very relaxing in a way to play these types of games. Now, there is a little bit of combat in the game, which we'll talk about in a little while, but it basically boils down to, we might not even see it, it basically boils down to enemies charge you, and if you have a gun, as you can see down here, and some ammo, as long as you hold down the space button, your guy shoots at him. Honestly, the combat feels really shoehorned in. It's one of my complaints with the game so far. I don't like that the combat in the game is just kind of there. It's almost as if the developer's like, well, we need to give them a threat, otherwise it's going to be a really boring game. And I kind of disagree. I think the combat, again, it just feels super, super forced, and I'd love to see it revamped. I'm hoping he is planning on revamping it or removed altogether. It just interrupts you and is just a kind of a nuisance. I understand the need or the feel of needing to maybe insert a threat to the game to make the player feel like he's motivated to do something, but I promise you, the people who are going to enjoy this game don't feel like they're going to be motivated for any type of threat. So we're going to go ahead and smelt those metallic things up. We don't need a chest or anything in the way. We'll, while that smelts, let's clear a little bit of this out of here. Make a nice easy path. While we're doing that, we're collecting wood. We can use wood to use as a burning tool for these particular machines. I personally don't like to because the wood burns super fast. And we'll end up using a lot of the wood later on. But for now, this is nice to just kind of clear out the deforestation as we industrialize some strange alien world. Let's go ahead and see what we got over here. Let's go ahead and grab it. Perfect. I love it. And actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll do that after. This stone is right there. Stone's not far. I honestly stopped needing stone pretty quickly. So let's go over here. Let's grab these and let's start working on our first, what do we need? We just need a stone furnace now. So what we can do is take all this out of here. It's going to smelt this. Let's go ahead and grab it when it's done. And we can just hold down right click on something and you automatically get it back. So there's no waste in the game whatsoever. So we're going to get this burner mining drill up nice and early. And we're going to actually end up putting this on the stone because we need stone furnaces, a lot of stone furnaces to make more of this drill. So that's one of the things we're going to work on early. So let's go ahead and plop this sucker down right on the stone. And we'll actually make a nice wooden chest here. And we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll start doing this. And while that's going on, I'm going to talk a little bit about the game itself. So it was interesting to kind of get this game because I wasn't sure what to expect. But the first comparison I ended up drawing was to Tekkit, which is not a bad comparison to draw, mind you. I am surprised by the amount of fun I'm having with this game. I was talking to actually Ryan, Northern Lion, a bit about the game because he actually was playing it too. He got a copy. And the way he said it's very meditative and very relaxing. And I think that's true. I think it draws a lot of comparisons to maybe something like Banished, where the threat isn't really the focus of the game. The focus of the game is just you building the coolest looking and the most efficient factory that you can get. So Banished was all about building probably the most beautiful, most efficient town you could build with given your resources. Well, you take that and you put it into the Factorio model, which is, you know, constant upgrades and constant automation as you play, and now you have something that's going to last you a lot longer than Banished does. And I agree with him that it's very relaxing to play. I found myself playing like, hey, I'm going to make a little factory and then I'll end up recording so I can show off the factory and stuff that I've made so far. And then 2 hours went by. The game does progress at a very slow rate, especially for your first time, but generally speaking, I think it's friggin' awesome. I really like the fact that it's a slower moving game. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and put this in and this, and we'll go ahead and mine some more iron because we need it. And then once we get our first kind of automated kind of mining going on, I'm going to show you what I have in another save file to show you what 2 hours of work, maybe an hour and a half worth of work ended up getting me. And again, I ended up, you know, I spent more time kind of figuring things out. If you've already played the game, then you're going to be a little bit quicker. And the more often you play the game, the quicker you're going to get at it. All right. So we'll mine up to 10. Perfect. We'll smelt them. We'll grab these. And we can actually get our first mining drill right now. So our mining drill over here right now. So let's go ahead and plop that down. And we will build ourselves a crate. And we will go ahead and do that. And let's go get some coal. We need some coal. I actually want to build... I'm going to want to build another one of these burner mining drills just to get this... get some more coal going a little bit quicker, because this is a little slow. The burner first burning machines, though they allow you to not have to manually mine away, they are very slow and inefficient. You're gonna want to get to electricity as quickly as you can. That's one of the fun things, is getting to the electricity and having everything just, the only thing you need coal for is for your steam engine to boil water, and you don't need all these other things, which is awesome. I love it. So let's start making this place just a little bit more automated, shall we? So what do we want? Well, we're gonna need a burner inserter, nice and easy. And you know what? We might need a couple of them. So let's put this down here, right there. That's gonna be our first mechanical arm. We faced it so it's actually feeding things over there. And then what we need is another chest there. And we need another inserter. So we're going to need it like so. And we need this to feed it here. And what we're going to want is, we can actually put this like this. Like so. And what this will feed into there. So what I'm doing is basically, what this arm's going to do is grab all the raw iron out of this, put it on this conveyor belt. This will grab it from the conveyor belt, I think. Actually, no, it won't. Will it? Let's find out. What I'm hoping it'll grab it from the conveyor belt, put it into this box, and then this other robotic arm will grab it from this box and put it in the burner, and it'll do all that automatically. Let's go grab some coal and see if this is actually going to work the way I think it's going to work. I might have to put another box down. If that's the case, we'll actually redo it just a bit. In fact, I think I might end up redoing it anyway, because I think I have a better idea. Again, I'm not the most genius. Like, when you see my other factory, you're going to be probably looking like, Mathas, that's probably one of the most convoluted ways to do that I've ever seen. Actually, let's knock all this down. Taking all of it down. Perfect. And let's do it like this. Like that, and then like that. Right? Perfect. And then what we can do is actually do that. So we have our first setup of automation. Bam. Bam. I'm just shift right clicking and shift left clicking. And it's going to go ahead and feed it all in. See, look at that. Now we don't even have to, like, that's the first step of automation right there. Now we don't ever have to frickin' mine away at this or like transfer things automatically to this to the stone thing. We can actually have it done all automatically by these arms. And that's the first steps. So with that in mind, and now you know how the game kind of works, let's actually load up my other save file. So let's load it up under Mathas. Load. Now this factory is not nearly as developed as it could be, but here we are. Now this particular world I loaded up in, the metallic areas and everything were a little bit more separated than what I would have liked, but we have it working nicely. So I have my iron production over here. I have electricity being produced through a water pump, pumping water from this area and pumping it directly into some burners that are then boiling the water and sending it to steam engines that are then producing electricity and sending it through the electric area. And what these electricity things are powering are some electric automated arms. They move a lot faster, they load a lot quicker, and since I don't have to keep them fed with coal all the time, I don't have to worry about it. And these guys are just going ahead and pumping coal into here, and we've got iron being pumped into here, which we'll go ahead and take, and copper bars over here. Up here we have our copper production facility, a little bit more convoluted than it needs to be, but it works. And we're going to end up replacing some of the stuff soon enough. I'll swing down this way. Now this is the iron production area. I ended up like just building around what I ended up building, so it's not nearly as efficient as it could be, and I'll end up redoing all of this eventually. Basically the way it works is that these things are mining iron and putting them into the crate. These guys are putting the iron from the crate onto this conveyor belt, which is looping it up here so that these arms can put it in this crate, so that these arms can put it in this burner, so that these arms can put it in this crate, and this arm puts this, whatever was in this crate, into this crate, and this arm puts it, whatever's in this crate, into this conveyor belt, and it's fed all the way around here to this guy who's just grabbing it as they come. Super convoluted and super stupid. Over here we have ourselves our four burning drills over here that is being fed off. But more importantly, we have our first electric drill that is much faster and doesn't require fuel. In fact, we're going to end up probably collapsing all of these down over here. And then down here we have our stone guy that I've forgotten already. He doesn't get fed coal anymore. He just gets ignored, which is totally okay with me. So, as you can see, things can get automated and look pretty cool pretty quickly. And this is not nearly the beginning. This is not nearly the end of it. In fact, the game has so much content, but the thing that it does so intelligently is that it doesn't give it to you all at once. Especially for somebody who's playing for the first time, you might be overloaded. So how do you get more stuff? Well, that comes with research. That's what this right here is. This is a lab. And this lab, if we hit T, helps research different things. So the last thing I ended up researching was automation. What it gave me was the ability to have a long-handed inserter and an assembling machine. Now the long-handed inserter basically is exactly what it sounds like. It can reach further, which is nice. But the big thing that came with it is an assembling machine. So if I need to build, a bunch of electric drills that I don't want to do it manually because they take forever to do it manually. Well, what I can do is I can take this right here and I can set it up. I'll put it down somewhere and I can get it powered eventually. And I can set it, pick a schematic. What do I want built? I want Let's see. I want boilers built. Sounds good. And now I can basically say it needs all these to make the boiler. That's fine. I can set the current recipe. It'll do it itself. What I'll do is now I'll feed raw resources, all the resources it needs into here, and this will put all those resources together, make the necessary things, and spit out the boiler. Making, thus, the next step super simple. Automating everything. But since that's already researched, let's go ahead and research the next thing. So we need, what do we got? We can choose electronics, which we can then allow us to get smart inserter, which will only pick and choose certain things to insert and pick up from the conveyor belt. Turrets for self-defense. Let's see, optics available, which will give us lamps, which is awesome. Logistics, which will give us underground belts. So if you want things to look neat and tidy and go underground, this is where you're going to go. We've got ourselves, like I said, turrets. Steel processing, which will give us more stuff and allow all these cool things. Again, look how much stuff there is to research. It's ridiculous. Eventually, you can get automobilism, which you can then drive around. You can get stuff like shields. You can get stuff like combat robotics that will just fight things for you. Alien technology. Crazy, crazy stuff that you can eventually build. The fun part, again, about this game is that it all starts so basic, and you then have the opportunity to make it better. So let's do a little bit more stuff before we call this a Judge Mathas. As you can tell, I'm having a hell of a fun time with the game. There's no doubt that this is one of the most fun games I've played of this type. It scratches that itch that Tekkit scratched for me in a different and more fun way, in my opinion. So let's get an electric mining drill. Let's start getting all this stuff redone and set up electrically. So we're gonna deassemble this and this. I don't want any of this stuff. And we'll slap down our electric drill. See how long it took to make that? It just finished. So we'll go ahead and pop that down. And then what we're gonna want, we're gonna deassemble pretty much all of this stuff because we don't want any of it. We're gonna replace it all. Boom, boom. Eventually we'll get electric furnaces and stuff. All right. So the first thing we're gonna want down is we're gonna have to run power up here, but we'll worry about that after. So let's go ahead and plop this sucker down. Actually, you know what? How am I doing it over? I want to take a look here. We don't need to worry about copper so much right now. We actually just feed it out. So what we'll do is we're gonna build a few more stone furnaces here. More than I probably need right now, but we need a few at the very least. So let's go ahead and pop. We'll do 3 stone furnaces. We're also gonna go ahead and put these over here. Whoops. And I'm going to go ahead and put a furnace here, here, and here. And what I'm hoping to do is pop one of these, and these. So electric furnaces. And then when all's said and done, actually I'm going to go ahead and deconstruct this and this and move it over one. Again, this is probably more convoluted than it needs to be, and I'm not thinking as straight as I probably could be. Let's go ahead and, so when this is all said and done, we'll have them feeding it out. We need one more. Oh, there it is. Give me that. So as you can see over in the bottom left hand corner, as I was saying, it just builds it. Let's actually get that tree out of the way. Boom. And we'll build this. Like that. And we want like so. We actually don't even need this one. Alright, so now what do? Well, let's first and foremost get ourselves the power that we're going to need to smelt all this stuff. We have lots and lots and lots of coal, and we shouldn't be running out anytime soon. And now we need power. So how do we produce power? Well, luckily, we can build... where is it? These. Electric poles. We can build a lot of them, actually, because we have a lot of materials to do it. And electric poles provide power in an area radius. So what we need to do is bring power all the way over to these and over to these. So let's go ahead and start building like this. So we can just hold down left mouse button and it automatically drags up where it needs it. So we can actually go ahead and do... We can actually power all 3 with this one alone. And we can do the same thing here. Perfect. Power. Oh, we need actually a little bit more power so we can actually power this thing. So let's go ahead and do that. Perfect. And now, this is all automated. The only thing I need to do is make sure this has fuel, but it shouldn't matter. Boom. We might not even need to do any of the, we might not even need 2 arms. Well, actually, if we want 2 arms, the fact that we have so many arms, let's start popping down extra drills. And we'll start feeding it into the conveyor belt. Actually, it's getting by. Some are getting by. We might only want to put 1 extra one down. But we will. And then we can do the same. Perfect. And now the conveyor belts are going to reach out. And hopefully they'll, yep, they'll grab them. Perfect. And now we have 2 electric drills pumping out a ton of copper. And it's going to get smelted and then picked up by other ones and fed all the way down here, which will then get picked up. And it might be a little bit too quick, so we might want to put another arm down just to have it. And another crate down. Whoop, not that one. I want the electric arm. Like I said, this game can suck away the time. I didn't realize I've almost been recording for half an hour now. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 arms down and done. And now we've completely gotten rid of, almost completely, rid ourselves of coal burner production up here. And it's almost purely electrical at this point. And this now, the next step for me would be to do the same over here. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and pop some of this down so it has some stuff to do. And I think you get the idea of how Factorio works. Now, unfortunately, we didn't get to see any monsters. To be honest, again, I think the monsters and the combat is so shoehorned in, I don't really like it. I just feel like it's forced. I feel like it was the developer saying, we need a threat in the game. If you're going to do it right. Don't make it just hold spacebar down. Make it like hold down control and have to click on the enemies or something. I understand the idea of wanting to ramp up the attack so that all your weapons are more effective and you kind of see the progression of holding a pistol to having robots fight for you. That's really cool. I just wish the combat didn't feel so forced. I don't know. I just don't like it that much. I feel like it could do so much better. But that's just how it is right now, and that's how it's going to end up being, unfortunately, for a little while. Hopefully that'll end up getting fixed. But other than that, I don't have too many complaints. I'm really not nitpicking. I'm really enjoying my time with Factorio, and I know I'm going to spend a lot more time with it. This particular factory, I think, has turned out quite nicely. I can look back and say, this whole area right here used to be completely overrun with trees. Now it's cleared out, and I've got a whole conveyor belt line running through. This over here is actually working out nicely. And I'm not quite sure why. Oh, it's because it's completely full. Okay, so it's going slowly because it's completely filled up, the burners. But, whatever. Backlog's not that big a deal. And it's working nicely, and I really like it. So check it out, guys. Factorio.com. The link will be in the description below. Like I said, it's £10 or $13 US if you want to pick it up. This is one of those games that I highly recommend, especially if you're into that survival, city builder, technology builder type gameplay. Factorio scratches that niche, scratches that itch that I think a lot of other places don't necessarily or haven't necessarily done in the past. So check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying it, make sure you drop a like. It helps me out a great deal and lets me know you want to see more videos just like this. And if you're new to the channel, come back every day for videos just like this one. And as always, I'll see all of you guys next time. Bye-bye.